All right. Good afternoon, fourth and fifth graders. I am so excited that you're going to get to work on a science fair project. It really is something that you're probably going to do in a lot of grades and you're going to learn a whole lot about. Today is just the very, very beginning of your project. You're going to figure out what question you want to ask and what the purpose of asking that question is. Think about the question you put your name on your sticky note in the do now, okay? For example, let's say you put your name on the question that said, are footballs able to travel farther when thrown with filled air or when they're more deflated? So that's your question. But what would be the purpose of asking that question? Think about it. The purpose of asking that question is to figure out, when is it easier to throw and to catch footballs? If you think about the Patriots and the Seahawks and the Saints, they want to know what makes it easiest to score a touchdown or to catch a ball and run it, okay? Those people that have decided, I'm going to deflate my football a little bit, they're really just scientists trying to figure out the answer to a question, okay? That's what you're doing. Your end product is going to look something like this. In a couple weeks from now, actually 4 weeks, you and your partners, or maybe you alone, you're going to make a display board like this to show what you learned from asking your question. So you've got to make sure you ask a good question so that you can make a really pretty and educational display board for people to learn something from. You don't want to do a whole lot of research that's irrelevant. It has to have a purpose. So that takes us to step 1. Asking questions. Your project must have a purpose. It must have a point. To find a purpose, you have to ask a question. So listen to instructions and then I want you to do them. In a minute, I want you to click on your DTA classroom page. It should be a tab already up here, okay? There's going to be a link, and that link is called education.com. In a minute, I want you to pause me and just kind of look at some of the ideas of science fair questions. If you find one that's interesting to you, write it down on your sheet of paper. If you need help, just raise your hand, okay? Take no more than 3 minutes with me paused, and then come back and replay me, okay? Pause me now and look at some of those ideas. Okay. Hopefully you are unpausing me now, all right? That means you probably came out with maybe 1 or 2 good ideas. What I want you to do now is look at your results from the Science Buddy test that we did earlier. You should already have that tab open, and find 1 or 2 that seem the most interesting to you. If you like gardening, then yours are probably going to be results about gardening. But if you don't like gardening, then don't pick something that has to do with gardening. Pick something that you are excited to research and write it down. The next part is you've got to kind of record more about what you want to know. I have here to put it on your note card, but you don't need to. You have a sheet of paper that I've already printed for you, okay? You're going to have 3 questions that interest you written down. An example could be, what brand of bubble gum has flavor that lasts the longest? If you like this question, you can write that down, but I really encourage you to find some of your own, okay? The last part of this is make sure you have answered all questions on your feedback form, okay? So at the very bottom, it says group member suggestions. Circle 1. Would you like to work alone? Yes or no? It's fine if you want to do a project by yourself, but if you don't, what I want you to do is list no more than 3 group members that you might want to work with. It doesn't mean that I guarantee you're going to get to work with them. Once you've done that, you can pause the video and you can go to the DTA website and do what it says to do next. Good job following instructions.